Hi everybody, I am Heather with Wisely Living, and in this video I want to talk about getting started using herbs to alleviate allergies naturally. Now, as an herbalist and acupuncturist, I have a lot of my clients come to me having tried various herbs and herbal remedies to alleviate their allergies, looking on Google, finding things on Amazon, and sometimes they work really well and sometimes they don't. So in this video, I want to cover from an herbalist perspective how to weed through all the different forms of herbs so that you can find the ones that really work for you. When it comes to getting started with herbs, one of the things to keep in mind is that herbs have been used by many different cultures for hundreds and thousands of years, depending on which culture it is. So there are a lot of herbs to choose from that have long histories and getting valid results at reducing symptoms of allergies. Some herbs are really good at reducing histamine, some herbs are really good at relieving inflammation or congestion, and you'll find a lot of herbs that help with symptoms such as like sneezing, itching, and congestion. To make things even more complicated, you can take herbs in a variety of ways. Today, a lot of people take their herbs in capsules, but traditionally they were taken in teas, decoctions, and tinctures. We're going to be releasing a bunch of videos over the year that go through these different techniques to teach you how to do different ones. So if you're interested in learning more about herbs, make sure to follow and subscribe so you can see those videos. But for now, just keep in mind that there are a lot of different herbs that treat allergies, and there's a lot of different ways that you can take those herbs that might have different effects on the body. Personally, my favorite way to take herbs is in either a tea or decoction, because that's the way herbalists have been taking herbs for centuries, where capsules are a relatively new technique in herbalism, so usually not one that I like to go to right off the bat, but can be really helpful if you don't like tasting the flavors, and so that's the nice thing about all of the options that we have. Herbs really need to be combined with other lifestyle remedies to really reduce all of the allergy symptoms. It's not usual that someone can only take herbs and completely get rid of all of their symptoms. There are other techniques like using a neti pot or seasonal adjustment, dietary changes that really help bring the whole thing together. And that can make a big difference for people that are getting really great results with their herbs versus people that are maybe getting less than what they're really desiring from the changes they're making. So when you're getting started, one of the first things I recommend is understanding your constitution. And this is a very different technique that comes out of herbalism from many different traditions. So one of the first things we look at is, do you tend to run hot or cold? Do you tend to have a lot of fluid and congestion, or do you tend to be more dry and dehydrated? And once we understand that, then we look and see if your symptoms are matching the same thing. You know, do you have allergy symptoms that are more hot and dry, like signs of redness and itching, or do you have a lot of phlegm and congestion? Is it more inflammation? And then we want to actually find the herbs that balance those specific symptoms, not just necessarily looking at if an herb has an antihistamine effect. So when you're looking at the description of herbs, you'll find descriptions like it's cooling or it's heating. And if you have symptoms that are hot and inflamed, you're going to want to find herbs that are more cooling. Where if you have a lot of mucus, then you might want to find herbs that are more drying. Where a lot of inflammation, herbs that create moisture will be more balancing. So that can be a big reason why some people get good results with their herbs and some people don't. We want to match the person and their constitution with the specific herb. It's not just playing Russian roulette with all of the different options out there. Ironically, people with allergies can often have allergies to their herbs, and this is a really valid fear. We actually have a different video on YouTube that goes through how to test for allergies to herbs, but this is definitely a process I recommend before starting with anything new, especially for anyone that has anaphylaxis allergies or anything like that. But you can really go through and test to be certain of each thing before you ingest it, and definitely before you start combining different herbs, try each one at a time. I already mentioned that I love herbal teas and decoctions as my favorite way of taking herbs. And the reason is when you're at home making your own herbal blends, you can really customize to suit yourself. So you can take herbs out that you don't like, you can add herbs in that you do like or that are specific to your particular symptoms, and then you can start adjusting the quantities so that you get something that's really a pleasant part of your daily routine. I find a lot of people struggle with digesting capsules, and not only that, once something's in a capsule, you can't modify it. So maybe an herb is really good at relieving your congestion, but it's not great at relieving the watery, itchy eyes. In an herbal tea, we can just find an herb that addresses the eyes and add that into the tea, and now you have something that really works specifically for you. The other reason I love herbal teas is because you can really customize the dose to fit your constitution. Some people are really sensitive and they only need a tiny bit of very gentle herbs for a huge effect. And other people have a really robust constitution and they might need a large amount of herbs that have a more intense effect to even get a subtle effect in their body. So when you're taking herbal teas, you can really adjust to suit what works for you. While most herbs are generally considered safe, it is important to keep in mind that some herbs can interact with different medications. So you'll want to definitely talk to your primary healthcare professional before ingesting any new herbs, especially if you have any pre-existing medical conditions or if you're on any pharmaceuticals or over-the-counter medications that might be interacting with your herbs. And while some herbs can be really beneficial at getting rid of allergies, some people may have allergies that really need to be treated in combination with Western medical treatments. Please use the comments section to tell us any herbal remedies that you've tried. Let us know if they worked, if they didn't work, if you had any good or negative reactions. We definitely want to hear what you guys have experienced. And if you want to get more in depth, you can check out the description. I'm going to leave a list of various resources that I've used in studying herbs myself. And we've also created an entire online course, Alleviating Allergies. We release it every spring, so I recommend jumping onto the wait list if you want to check that course out. If you want a little bit more in-depth or one-on-one guidance, you can always book an online coaching session with me. And otherwise, I hope that you found this video helpful. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe.